Greetings, beloved, and welcome to our Wholesome Wednesday here on our Mercy Abounds channel. Thank you so much for your continued support. We really appreciate the feedback that you give us. Let us continue to subscribe and share what we are learning here on this channel. So today, before I've been seeing your feedback, which book you want us to tackle next. I've been getting a lot of ideas, some in the New Testament, some in the Old Testament. Let us continue bringing in these ideas. Next week, we are going to have a reveal on what we are going to be doing next, which book we are embarking on next. So today, I wanted us to talk about two things. First, we all know that we are coming from Easter. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday and you're back to work and everything is functioning well on your side. So I had this reflection throughout Easter and I thought, okay, let me maybe give you some time with your families and you enjoy this holiday. But as I was reflecting, I appreciate the thoughts, right? The reflections that come with Easter. Yes, we do not know when it happened, the dates we do not have, and all those things. But there's the thought that Christ came here on earth and died for us, right? Just like we celebrate Christmas, we do not know the dates. And yes, I know that we personally were not given the dates for a reason. But the thought of saying, okay, we appreciate that Christ actually came here and he died for us on the cross. It's a good thought. Now, as I was reflecting on that, as my thought was there, my thought also then went on the other side and said, okay, it's quite interesting that we are celebrating what Christ did for us. But have we ever considered it from the vice versa side, that Christ was actually on the cross because of Christians? Christ was on the cross because of people like us who profess to be Christians, who profess to be following Christ, who profess to do God-like, or who confess to follow the commandments, to do the principles of the Bible, to live by those principles. These are the people who actually nailed Christ on the cross. The one whom they had been waiting for, they could not accept. Because they could not take him, they could not accept, they decided to kill him. So there's something about being a Christian that makes us fail to coexist with things that we don't agree with. Where am I going? These people struggled to coexist with Christ. They struggled to coexist with the ideas that are different from their own ideas. So instead of letting them, since they were having the truth, letting their truth come out in the open and speak out in the open, they decided to destroy these other sounds that were coming from other sides. And they went on to the extent of killing, to exterminate the voice. What am I saying? Yes, I know the Bible says not all that profess to be Christians, not all that call on God and God are going to enter the kingdom of heaven. But here also, yes, I want us to acknowledge that it was people like us, and we who were praying like us, who were looking forward to a new kingdom like us, who killed the one that had come to actually take them to that kingdom. Now, come to now in our setting. How many have we killed? Not necessarily physically. How many voices have we tried to silence because they were not in congruence with what we believe? Why can't we as Christians learn to coexist with other truths and let our truth come out? And the truth can't be silenced. The truth is stubborn. The truth will always come out so strong and so tall and speak for itself. We don't have to defend the truth. We do not have to go to this extent of physically handling those that are having different ideas with us. How are we living with our neighbors? How are we living with those that we think they don't profess what we profess? How are we living with ideas that are different from us? How are we living with ideas that are different from Christianity, from the religion that you are in? How are we living with those people? Let me not even talk about they didn't know that it was Christ. But even if Christ was not in congruence with what they were believing at that particular time, why couldn't they just be able to coexist with someone that was opposing what they were believing? Isn't that the truth? Why couldn't they let their truth speak for itself than handling physically what these men of Galilee had come with and actually presented? Why couldn't they just accept that, okay, this one is different, we are here? The truth, at the end, they will come and will reconcile. They'll be reconciled back to the one that we believe, and they will know that there's a God in heaven. Why couldn't they think like that? Today, are we not doing the same? Are we not failing to coexist with different ideas, with different religions, with different denominations in our spaces to the extent of physically handling, manipulating, being angry with those that have different ideas than us? Why can't we let the truth speak for itself than wanting to defend it so much? What is it about being a Christian that makes us to be so insecure and want to defend the truth? Why can't our truth speak for itself? Why can't the truth come out? If we really believe that we have is the truth, why can't we coexist with all these other ideas and let the truth speak for itself than defending it? Because when we are defending the truth, we end up being emotional. And when we are emotional, we want to exterminate the other ideas and let our own idea, our own truth come out as victorious because we've handled the other truths. I want us to reflect as we're reflecting about Christ's time on the cross. Let us also understand that we are not superior. We are exactly like those that killed Christ on the cross, and we are professing to be Christians. Let us learn to coexist with ideas that we might not necessarily believe in, agree with, but because we know that we're embracing these people in love, and we know that the truth will set them free. That truth will always stand tall. We do not have to manhandle people that are in our spaces because they do not believe in what we believe, because they are opposing. There will be those that will directly oppose. We do not have to manhandle them because we will end up having a murder case in our hands in the belief of trying to defend the truth. Let us be cognizant of these things and learn to live well with one another. And the second point that I want us to look at, Christ is on the cross and he is saying, Lord, Lord, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Christ is in pain because of what these people, they inflicted pain on Christ, and he is in pain because of what his heart is broken because of what they are doing to him and what he had come to do for them. The very people that were professing to be Christians, professing to be the followers of Christ, professing to be the nation of Israel, are the ones that are nailing him on the cross. And Christ looks at them with sympathy and empathizes with them and says, Lord, Lord, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. It made me realize something about forgiveness. Forgiveness and pain can coexist. Christ is in pain because of what they are doing to him, but he's asking the Lord to actually forgive, the Father to actually forgive them whilst he's still in pain. How many of us struggle with the idea of forgiving because we're saying we need to heal? Christ is giving us this perfect example that forgiveness and pain can coexist. You can still be in pain and still decide to forgive. So whilst we are looking at all these other reflections, let us consider these two. Pain and forgiveness can coexist. Two, let us learn to coexist with other ideas that we might not necessarily subscribe to and be okay with it, because the truth will always stand tall at the end of the day. So you and your families, you have a great week ahead of you, and we're looking forward to next week as we reveal which book we are following next. For me and the Mesa Bounce crew, we are saying you have a great week ahead.